This week on ANN, Adventists in Australia call for children and families to be released from immigration detention on the island of Nauru.
Adventist Community Services respond after a devastating storm hits the Northern Mariana Islands.
And how churches around the world can recognize World Orphan Sabbath.
These stories and more coming up.
Thank you so much for joining us this week.
Seventh-day Adventists were among a group of Australian Christians calling for the release of children held in immigration detention on Nauru.
A statement was made by participants at the Justice Conference at the Melbourne Town Hall on October 27th.
The statement said, "As Christians, we cannot in good faith be complicit in or bystanders to acts of injustice. When we see any of God's children prevented from living life in all its fullness, we must speak out. That is why we are adding our voice to get kids off Nauru. The world refugee crisis is a complex problem, but locking up children is never the answer."
The statement called on Australia's political leaders to work together to find a solution that moves children and their families off Nauru.
The 1,500 conference participants included some 25 Adventist church members and representatives of the Adventist Development and Relief Agency in Australia.
The CEO of ADRA in Australia, Paul Robesa, said this issue matters because it strikes at the heart of who we are as a nation. ADRA believes that all people are created in the image of God to do amazing things. Detaining people indefinitely on Nauru is inconsistent with that belief. We implore our politicians to urgently get all people, especially children, out of detention.
Hosted by TIR Australia, the Justice Conference is an annual event focused on the Christian call to do justice and is sponsored by a number of Christian justice and development agencies.
You can read the full statement on AdventistRecord.org.
Adventist Community Services, or ACS, in Guam, Micronesia, was activated after the year's strongest storm to date slammed into the Northern Mariana Islands on October 24. The Category 5 Typhoon U2 destroyed more than 100 homes and buildings, killed 2 people, and flooded roads, especially on the Saipan and Tinian Islands. Residents also experienced widespread power loss, which continues to persist. The islands, which include Saipan, Tinian, and Rota, are home to more than 52,000 people, with the vast majority living in Saipan. Mark Bugby, principal of the Saipan Seventh-day Adventist School, said they still do not have electricity in the school. Bugby also reported the school is running its generator when needed. Their biggest problem is water, the school tanks that will last only a few days. A work bee took place over the weekend to clean up debris and downed trees. Reports have come in that 80% of the San Antonio Seventh-day Adventist Church in Saipan has been destroyed. Guam ACS Director Max Mays has committed to purchasing supplies for the island's relief efforts. Further, Mays has coordinated efforts with the Ayuda Foundation, a medical nonprofit organization in Guam, to secure the transport of the supplies to the territory.
This year, World Orphans Day will be recognized on November 12th, but the Seventh-day Adventist Church suggests that congregations set aside Sabbath, November 17, as World Orphans Sabbath. Reports show that every 2 seconds, a child becomes an orphan. 400,000 orphans die every year of malnutrition, and 99% of orphans will never be adopted. It is estimated that over 1.2 million children are trafficked each year globally, and that out of the 21.3 million refugees worldwide, half are under 18 years of age. The Adventist Church's ministries for orphans range from providing orphanages and foster homes to adoption and strengthening the local community so it can care for these disadvantaged children. The Adventist Church feels their responsibility to care for the fatherless is echoed throughout the Bible and through specific counsels to church members from the Spirit of Prophecy. Larry Evans, director of Global Special Needs Ministry, says, tragically, millions of children all over the globe have become orphaned for many reasons: war, famine, displacement, disease, or poverty. Of the more than 132 million children classified as orphans, 13 million have lost both parents. Jesus cared for these children, and so do Seventh-day Adventists. There are several Adventist supporting organizations working to bring hope and healing to orphans and vulnerable children around the world. You can find a list of these organizations and more information on the Special Needs Ministries website, specialneeds.adventist.org/orphans.
Top government officials praised the work of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Antigua and called on leaders and members to assist with combating the scourge of non-communicable diseases, or NCDs, during the church's 130th anniversary of Adventism celebration on the island, October 20. Governor General of Antigua and Barbuda, His Excellency Sir Rodney Williams, and Prime Minister, the Honorable Gaston Brown, spoke to dozens of church leaders and church and community members at Gilbert's estate. During his brief congratulatory remarks, Governor General Williams congratulated the church for its sterling contributions to Antigua through the production of teachers and musicians. The Governor General went on to commend the church for its health message. Prime Minister Gaston Brown also gave congratulatory remarks and indicated that in his estimation, the Seventh-day Adventist Church has made the most significant contribution to the economic development of the nation. In response to the Prime Minister's call, Health Ministries Director for the Adventist Church in the region, Sylvia Helm-Ying, said that addressing and battling non-communicable diseases is one of the objectives of her department. We can target the community and also our members in the battle against NCDs. What may be effective is to develop active groups in each community where the church serves that would focus on educating the community about healthy living.
The Village Church in Berrien Springs, Michigan, hosted Creation Sabbath, a celebration of God's creative work as described in the book of Genesis and affirmed throughout Scripture. Senior scientist from the Geoscience Research Institute, Timothy Standish, partnered with the Village Church in organizing the weekend, which had an attendance of more than 700. Presenters included scientists, theologians, educators, and designers.
Many came to see a display of 6 creation paintings recently completed by world-renowned artist Nathan Green. The 7th in the series is currently in progress.
And over 150 kids attended a special children's program featuring science experiments and hosted by students of Ryan Hayes, chemistry professor at Andrews University.
Creation Sabbath is an annual event for the Seventh-day Adventist World Church where participants celebrate the beauty and wonder of God's creation and affirm the biblical narrative.
Coming up, the author of Christmas in My Heart books marks a special milestone.
But up next, Adric Canada works with the displaced people in Myanmar.
If you go out in the night and you look up in the heavens and you see all the stars, and now with the Hubble telescope seeing billions of stars, and people say that there isn't a God in His creation, I have a real problem with that as an engineer, because everything in engineering is done with mathematics. 1 and 1 is 2. It's not 3.5. It's not 1.8. It's all math, and God is perfect, and math is a perfect science.
Welcome back.
The Adventist Development Relief Agency in Canada's Embrace project is designed to improve the lives and health of mothers and young children in remote regions of our world.
In 2016, Embrace began working with the Karen ethnic group in the Kayan state of Myanmar.
Participants in the project are finding the concepts presented to be transformative. Some mothers have come to refer to the Embrace education collectively as the message.
Adric Canada sent this report.
Before joining the Embrace project, I am afraid that I was not feeding my children very well. Embrace has taught us about the 4 major food groups and how we should make sure that our children are getting balanced meals, drawing from all of the 4 food groups every day.
The vegetables sold at the market in our village are wilted, soft, and tasteless. The vegetables that we have been growing in our new garden are full of flavor. I have learned about new kinds of vegetables such as carrots, cauliflower, tomatoes, and spinach. It is so nice to know that the foods that we are feeding our children are grown without chemicals or pesticides.
Before the Embrace training, our diet was not very healthy or balanced. Now that we have our own kitchen gardens, we are eating fresh, organic vegetables every day. Embrace taught us what kind of nutrition we can get from each kind of plant, what plants provide iron, and what plants provide the various vitamins. Now that we have been on the new diet for about 6 months, we have seen a real improvement. My little girl has gained weight, and she is more active, and she no longer gets the skin rashes that she used to. I am so thankful for the message of Embrace.
Adric Canada's Embrace Project is designed to improve the lives and health of mothers and young children in remote regions of our world. In 2016, Embrace began working with the Karen ethnic group in the Cayenne state of Myanmar. People of the village are invited to join groups where trained ADRA facilitators lead discussions on topics of maternal health, family health, child development, sanitation, nutrition, gender roles, and good family communication. The participants in the program are finding the concepts they are learning to be transformative. Some mothers have come to refer to the Embrace education collectively as the message. The Embrace Project is made possible with funding from the Canadian government. Simple solutions of education in health and nutrition are making a big difference in the lives of families in remote regions of Myanmar. The Karen people are grateful to the people of Canada for the message that is changing their lives.
Prayers and gifts were offered to drivers and onlookers who took the time to stop during a breast cancer awareness outreach activity led by InterAmerican Division staff outside their headquarters offices in Miami, Florida last week. Some 150 gift bags containing water, breast cancer literature, a pen, and health magazines were distributed during the morning commute time and at a nearby mall in the afternoon. The initiative was the second annual community outreach planned at the InterAmerican Division offices in collaboration with their health ministries and women's ministries departments. The World Health Organization considers breast cancer the most frequent cancer impacting 2.1 million women each year and is the leading cause of cancer-related deaths among women. In 2018, it is estimated that 627,000 women died from breast cancer. To find out more about the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Inter-America, visit interamerica.org.
European leaders from the Adventist Development and Relief Agency, or ADRA, recently met in Budapest, Hungary, to discuss and find new approaches to making a bigger impact around the world. The aim was to accelerate the well-being of disadvantaged people and to build a stronger ADRA network. ADRA Europe remodeled 2 years ago to bring the different offices under one umbrella, making joint efforts and collaborative projects among the countries much easier. Access to education is becoming a leading theme for ADRA around the globe, and European offices are fully joining the effort to support disadvantaged children and youth who lack access to education. Big improvements can also be seen in the area of emergency response. As disasters are increasing, more professional and coordinated efforts are bringing hope and saving more lives than ever before. President of ADRA International, Jonathan Duffy, spoke about the theology of compassion, including recent global trends and the role of faith-based organizations in development and humanitarian aid. Just recently, global development experts have realized that faith-based organizations are playing a significant role in solving some of the deepest issues in today's society.
Loma Linda University Children's Hospital was recently awarded a grant for March of Dimes to support its comprehensive tobacco treatment program, or CTTP. The grant will help continue the fight in San Bernardino County against the use of tobacco products during pregnancy. March of Dimes awarded the grant of more than $24,000 to partner with Children's Hospital, CTTP, in a combined mission to fight for the health of mothers and babies. Trufosa Otianga, Executive Director of Patient Services for Loma Linda University Children's Hospital, said, "We are pleased to have received this grant. CTTP has been a prominent and influential component of the San Bernardino County public health system for more than 11 years. This grant will not only help us continue delivering education that could potentially change the outcome for many mothers and children, but also take our program to areas geographically distant from vital tobacco cessation resources." CTTP offers a free 6-week program to help expecting mothers stop the use of any tobacco products both during and after their pregnancy. While learning about the harmful effects of tobacco, mothers are empowered by the program, receiving resources such as free diapers, xylitol gum, and support from prenatal health specialists.
The recent release of Christmas in My Heart, Volume 27, is a milestone moment for beloved Adventist author Joe Wheeler. This is his 100th book.
Wheeler is considered to be one of America's leading short story anthologists. His Christmas stories, with 27 volumes now in the Christmas in My Heart series, are the ones readers have found most endearing throughout the years.
And while that is true, his book, Great Stories Remembered, received the Seal of Quality, Family Television's highest honor, and Christmas in My Heart was chosen as a finalist for the Gold Medallion Award of the Christian Booksellers Association.
An inscription in one of the jackets of the Christmas in My Heart books sums up Wheeler's writing. Not just any stories, but rather stories that move the reader so deeply that they prove all but impossible to forget. And the stories incorporate values worth living by.
Unfortunately, on May 12 of this year, Joe Wheeler took a terrible fall down some stairs, resulting in a traumatic brain injury. Along with his family, we all pray for his full recovery and for his story ministry.
Coming up, Emily Mastroppa reminds us how important it is to be kind to each other.
But up next, we join Adventist Mission in New Delhi, India.
We may look, pray, read, think, worship, sing, and share differently, but we all look forward to the Sabbath, and we all look forward to the future when Jesus will come again. With this message in mind, we arrived at a core component for a new identity system, the creation grid, a simple 7-column structure for layout. The grid is a reference both to the prophetic timeline as well as to the creation week that culminated in the seventh-day Sabbath. Regardless of what or where you are designing, you can always find information to help you communicate that we are all Seventh-day Adventists.
May I work in with you, young fella?
Yeah. Go for it.
That's the way you do it. Got to put a little weight on it. Well, I'll put it back up here for you.
Welcome back.
The annual sacrifice offering is an opportunity to support work on the front lines of mission.
Join us as we visit a global mission pioneer in the heart of New Delhi, India.
Adventist Mission has more.
As we look at the mission opportunities still facing us, the cities loom large. This is where most people now live on planet Earth, and that's where we have the fewest Seventh-day Adventists. But what a wonderful opportunity. And I want to thank you for your support of Global Mission that helps us start new groups of believers in cities around the world. And the annual sacrifice offering is a specific opportunity every year with every cent going to help Global Mission, to support Global Mission pioneers, to start centers of influence, to start new groups of believers in challenging areas all around the world. And I want to thank you so much for your continuing prayers, financial support, and personal involvement. Let's go visit a Global Mission pioneer now.
Kamla is a Global Mission pioneer in New Delhi, India. Global Mission pioneers are sent out to start new groups of believers in unreached neighborhoods. Kamla speaks the language. She knows the culture. She mingles with the people. New Delhi is one of the most densely populated cities, with millions of people who don't know Jesus. This is a challenging area to spread the gospel. Over time, Kamla has made friends in her community. Her relationships have allowed her to share her Christian faith. By God's grace, people have been open to the gospel message and want to learn more about Jesus. Kamla speaks every Sabbath to a growing congregation that meets in this small room.
Initially, there was no organized group here. There were just some people scattered around here and there. I used to pray to the Lord to give me a congregation here. Slowly, people started coming to listen to the message that I presented.
Kamla visits people in their homes to talk and get to know them. Through relationships and word of mouth, this group has grown from a small few to a crowded room.
I take my children to school, and after that, I take some of the ladies from my congregation with me, and we go to different houses where the needs are. Maybe the need for prayer, the need for visitation, the need for conversation, because they are all feeling down. That's how I do it. I do small group meetings, visiting door to door, house to house, and that's how people enjoy the church here.
One of the members who helps is Karishma. She came to know Jesus because of Kamla. Kamla visited Karishma's house regularly to talk. Karishma's mother had been sick in bed for 25 years with little hope for recovery. Since she was always home, she heard them talking about Jesus. Karishma's mother did not want her daughter to become a Christian. She warned her not to trust Kamla. Karishma didn't want to upset her mother, but she truly believed the Adventist message. So she went against her mother's advice and was baptized. She prayed faithfully for her mother every day. Kamla continued to visit and began telling Karishma's mother of Jesus' healing power. Eventually, Karishma's mother accepted Jesus into her life as well. As soon as she accepted Jesus into her life, she was able to walk again. After 25 years of sickness, she was healed. God's healing power transcends all impossibilities. As congregations like this continue to grow, so does our world's population. Millions of people around the world don't know Jesus. Global mission pioneers are working hard to keep up with the great need. Please pray for global mission pioneers like Kamla, who are sharing Jesus' love. Thank you for supporting mission.
Watch this and other mission stories online by visiting AdventistMission.org, then click on videos at the top.
With so much negativity in the world today, a disappearing trait seems to be kindness.
Emily Mistrop is here to talk about how we can celebrate November 13th's World Kindness Day.
Kindness is the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. It is a behavior marked by ethical characteristics, a pleasant disposition, and concern and consideration for others. It is considered a virtue and one of the fruits of the Spirit. November 13 is World Kindness Day. This is a day to emphasize making kindness the norm in our everyday lives. Head to randomactsofkindness.org to find ideas on how you can get involved. They have lots of great resources like posters and graphics. They even have a calendar, a kindness calendar, to help you do one small act of kindness each day. When you post, don't forget to use the hashtag World Kindness Day and make kindness the norm. While we celebrate World Kindness Day, we should remember to show kindness to our fellow social media commenters. Sometimes, or a lot of the times, we don't agree with something that someone has posted on social media. Our initial reaction may be to lash out with a mean comment. We need to remember that there is a person on the other side of that comment. We should treat everyone with respect and kindness, even those we don't agree with. For World Kindness Day, let's focus on spreading love and kindness to everyone we see. Remember, no act of kindness, however small, is ever wasted.
And finally, for today's episode, let's turn to David Trim for a look at Adventist history.
This week, David Trim tells us of the life and ministry of evangelist George Vanderman.
This week in Adventist history, we look at one remarkably gifted communicator. On November 4 in 2000, George Vanderman, pioneering television evangelist, died in Southern California at the age of 84. Born in 1916, Vanderman got a part-time job at a radio station while attending Emmanuel Missionary College, today's Andrews University. At age 23, Vanderman became an evangelist working in the Lake Union. In the 1940s and 50s, he, Fordyce Dettamore, and E. Cleveland pioneered a new approach to Adventist public evangelism, holding meetings in major American cities and thereby winning many converts. In 1952, Vanderman conducted a major and successful series in London in Great Britain. The following year, he was encouraged by then General Conference President Reuben Figure to create a new television program. It became It Is Written. For nearly 40 years, Vanderman was the speaker of It Is Written, which was broadcast around the world and eventually had well over 1 million regular viewers in North America alone. While many American television evangelists of this period were personally flamboyant and their programs glitzy, not to say lurid, Vanderman had a quiet, reflective style, relying on gentle persuasion rather than razzle-dazzle. But he was powerful and compelling, and he reached affluent middle-class professionals in Western countries, a demographic usually immune to Adventist evangelism. From the mid-1970s, Vanderman also pioneered the Revelation Seminar as a way to draw viewers into a closer Bible study and relationship with the Adventist Church. Over a 10-year period, he personally conducted 300 seminars in multiple countries. Indeed, I attended one as a teenager in Sydney, Australia in 1984. In 1991, Vanderman made history when It Is Written became the first American religious series broadcast in what was then the Soviet Union. In 1991, at age 75, Vanderman retired. 9 years later, 18 years ago this week, he passed to his rest. There will unquestionably be many souls in the kingdom thanks to George Vanderman. That was This Week in Seventh-day Adventist History.
Thanks for watching ANN. Join us next week for more news from the headquarters of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
We'd love to hear from you. Send us your feedback and tell us how your church is making a difference in its community.
Be sure to capture plenty of video footage and photos, then write up a summary of the event's important details. And feel free to send full video reports as well.
You can reach us by sending an email to annvideo11@gmail.com.
Before we say goodbye, here's some good news from the book of James, chapter 1, verses 26 and 27.
The passage says, anyone who sets himself up as religious by talking good game is self-deceived. This kind of religion is hot air, only hot air. Real religion, the kind that passes muster before God the Father, is this: reach out to the homeless and loveless in their plight and guard against corruption from the godless world.
That's our program for this week. And remember, you can always visit news.adventist.org for daily news and videos. Until next time, God bless.
Take care.